Hello everybody, it's good to see you and see you coming back. I thought while I had time I would do a little bit more of an herbal Q&A if anybody had questions for tonight's full moon, which we talked about in the last this morning's video. I have you guys on my stool, so I can't really sit down. Yeah, just make room. I'm going to angle this a little better. Hello to everybody who's joined. What are you going to do? Alright, I would like to get the herbs in the shot really, because I'm taking them out into the sunset tonight to bless them all. This is like most of my foragings that I've not been using as I've been going, that I've collected throughout this last season. What would you call it? Spring, right? Or I guess like the end of winter through the beginning of spring. And I'm getting them ready for selling on Etsy. So I thought if you guys had any questions on herbs, we could do some more live interaction where you guys control the video, and we can talk about any herb of your choice as long as we can find it in one of these two Scotty books. And what is everybody doing for their full moon tonight? I know, look at all those herbs. I've got some more out too that I foraged last week at my mother's house. Oh, yeah, there's more in my bedroom. Hey Nona Grace, how are you? Do you do any special ceremonies with your herbs on the full moon? I totally got that from Lady Grave Dancer. When she talked about it, I was just like, wow. Bindweed, let me look that up. I've never heard of it, I don't think. Let me look it up. Good one, Mario. Wild Witch, thank you. Sadly, it's not in here. Yeah, not in this book, but I'll check my other books next time. It grows all over your garden. That's great. I love to utilize things that grow in your garden. They feel magical, you know. Especially the dandelions that grow in my garden. Like, I'm a big fan of them. So many things we've got on the table. Anybody, how about you, Nona Grace? Do you have one that you might want me to look up and we can talk about in the kitchen and in the working? What do you guys do for your full moon? I want to know that too. No? Okay. This turned out quite lovely. I'm going to do a video where I show everything. I just don't have the energy for that. There's so much here. This turned out really lovely. I feel like I'm happy with that. I think that might go... Well, actually, no. I'm doing a Persephone working, and Persephone is a goddess that twin flame working wants to work with. So I'm going to put this in the hanging window charm. I think that this pomegranate dried beautifully. It's the very top of it there. And when they're out and flat, they do form a star. Sadly, I couldn't get it to dry in the form of a star, but all of the points are there. That's not true. Only 3 points are left. 2 broke off. So there is 5 points when a pomegranate's open. I'm going to go add that to that Persephone working. In the meantime, woohoo! Say hi to Steve, my chinchilla. He's sleeping back there. And Beats, my other chinchilla, who's also sleeping because they are nocturnal. Nocturnal creatures. Oy. Hey Joyce Jordan, how are you? So nice to see you. Oh, you're doing a spell tonight, Mario? You're doing what kind of spell, you said? A, leave her for me spell? That sounds good. Are you going to show it on your channel? We'd love to see it if you're going to. But I know that workings are private. That's why I've been doing not so many workings online, is because I gotta keep some things private, you know, I feel. And that's good advice to anyone. But that's what your Book of Shadows is for. Joy said she just finished making protective witches balls there. Your stepdaughter, granddaughter, and you. Even your stepdaughter's hubby made one. That's so cool. Lily actually made a witch's ball with me this Christmas, and we put it on the tree in hopes that for her wishes for the upcoming year. And I just told her, like, you know, we had that little indoor Norfolk Island pine, which we still have. It grows all year long, and when you keep it inside, just having that Christmas tree to decorate. It's not huge. It's only like, the tree is only like this big, right? Because it's in a bucket. But when we decorate it during Yule, you know, we decorate it like a Christmas tree, so it's fun for my daughter too. Anyway, our Christmas trees aren't very normal though. They're always very weird and different because that's me. Very weird and different. So let's get back to the chat, Jennifer. Hi, Luna Nightshade. Oh my god, I love pomegranates, but they're so expensive here. Yeah, they're so expensive too. I actually just had a friend of mine ask me, who orders loads of things, Magic Conjurer's Table. He asked me if I could do like half of a jar, you know, and a jar's a good size. But even half of the jar I sent him last time would be like 8 ounces of dried, mind you, pomegranate seeds. And that would be about $60. I priced it just for that because they dry in about at least half of the size the pomegranate seeds do anyway. And then it takes a lot of time, space in my dehydrator for 3 weeks. It takes to dry pomegranate seeds, you know, without poking them and just letting them shrivel up. And that's how I dried these holly berries. And man, they turned out gorgeous. And they're like little rocks. You know, they're not going to rot in a jar. So it's sad that I can't, I just make a big batch and then sell them in small amounts because even a little bit it takes a lot of time, energy, space, all of that. But I love to do things like that. So yeah, it just takes time. Let me know if you guys need help. Hey, keeping it so real, Salinas. It's nice to see you. It's been a long time since I've chatted with you. She says, greetings. Hope all's well. Yes, all so well. Thank you. Love the pomegranate idea. Thank you. Persephone was the first goddess you ever learned about in school. That's really interesting. Your story's always been your favorite. I like that. Joyce, I'm glad you're doing good. Yeah, witches' balls are great. Right, Nona? You are doing a necromantic ritual tonight. That's really fun. That's really fun. You'll have to tell me more about that after you do it. And let me know how it went. Mario says this is quite a private working. Yep, I get that completely. Hey, Espen's here! Hi, Espen. How are you? It's so good to see you. I've been thinking about you a lot. Who do you love, Luna? I forget. Oh, Maddie. Exactly. I know, how are you? So nice to see you again. Yeah, I just thought I'd come back and tell you what I'm doing with the herbs that I'm putting up on Etsy. So, I've taken what I wanted from all of this, and then I'm going to divide it into four things. So I'll put 4 listings on Etsy, and you'll get a little bit of all of this, you know. There's loads of blackberry bushes and blackberry thorns. I have fiddle ferns. I have hydrangeas from my mother's garden, the leaf, the wood, and the flowers. Back there I have that pink dogwood, and then I also have white dogwood, and then the wood as well, which you can use all those different things. I did a video on hydrangea, and we talked about a couple things you can use the wood for magically, and the petals for different, and the leaves are for different rituals, and folklore. They have different folklore as well. We love lore here. So anyway, I just think it's really fun to show you, like, that, yeah, I take all this and I put it out on my rooftop. I lay down a blanket. If it's raining, I don't take it out from under the covered area, but I do take it outside or put it in my bay window at least if it was, like, storming and I couldn't take my dried things out. But a long time ago when I first started watching YouTube videos about witchcraft, because I'd been reading about it for years before I ever, like, really got into watching YouTube videos about it. And, but Lady Gravedancer was one there were so many that I didn't like watching. You know, I just was like, I don't feel like what they're saying is real. I don't feel like that connection, or whatever. So I strive to, you know, just never edit a video and not edit myself, and, you know, with the privacy of my family excluded from that. But anyway, I take all these things out onto a blanket. And this evening in Seattle, I mean, like, let's look out the window kind of quickly this way. It's a gorgeous day outside. And here's all our plants that Alex grows. But it's just such a beautiful day outside. So I know that tonight for the full moon, it's just going to be a great time to get this. There are certain herbs that I take out every single night, every single month, except for the last 2 months. I make moon water with stones attached to it, and this and that. So there's a lot of things that I'm really excited to do on this full moon, and it's also the flower full moon. So any of my flowers, you know, my lilac, my roses, every single flower I have, I'm also taking in the moonlight tonight because it's the flower moon. And then also I will be, oh yeah, blessing, especially one-on-one, spending time with this banana wand. Because I'm going to list this on Etsy, because there's only one of them. But it's really great, so I'm going to spend some time with this one-on-one tonight and bless it for, you know, just to really, really heal and help somebody. So I'm excited about all of that. In my dehydrators, I've got so much going. I just re-cleaned them all. I've got them in the racks, and I've got a coconut that Alex shelled for me by hand. I'm talking about the coconut that you can get at very specialty, like fruit stores when they sometimes have them, and it's the coconut in the rock hard shell that's partially green, partially brownish. And so he, you know, got like this like machete saw type thing, because normally he's using a machete. And it wasn't what I thought. I thought underneath would be a young Thai coconut like I'm always cutting up and eating with you guys. It was not that. It wasn't this type of white skin. It's like a brown skin. And then when it came out, it's this teeny tiny coconut that I can't really get into, and I can't figure out how to do it because the shell is thick. So I'm still trying to get into that. It's in my fridge, but all the parts of it I save. And I use these in protection workings, and I also, when I send out orders, I put some of this in with the packing material because it's really protective. It's a protective herb, and if I'm sending glass or something that's like really precious and gently fragile, I put those in there as an herbal protector to my orders. So that's really fun and unique. I started doing that because Be Young, I don't know if she's in the chat right now, I haven't been looking at it. Be Young had suggested it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that. So I get so many great ideas from you guys. I'm a big creative, but I'm not like as creative on my own as all these ideas I put out. 2 weeks, you're up and running. Oh good, I'm glad, Espen. That's great. The chicken leg bottles, Nello? Yeah, I just put those back, but aren't those fun when the chicken foot holds the bottle and then you could like wear it around your neck or even put it in your car as a protective amulet. Those were really fun. I can't list too much on Etsy because it all has to be a custom order, you know. It's not just random stuff, and I want it to be for the person, which is a big deal to me. It's got to be for the person. That's how my craft works, you know. Joyce said, you did them for protection because there seems to be another witch who's decided to go. Oh, Joyce! That's no good, Joyce. I'm going to go get a candle for Joyce. I'll be right back. We're going to light it. Screw that! Oh, no, no, no. Nobody messes with our things. That is lame, boobing. What Nella was talking about were these little chicken foot bottles that I've got. And I dehydrated them to hold this, you know. This is just a different shape than the other one. The other one was like this, like that or something. But aren't those fun? And then you just open the cap, put whatever herb you want inside. There's no glue on this, but I suggest if you want it to stay forever that you might glue it yourself, but I don't use hot glue in my herbal workings. I just don't. My hand almost won't let me do it. It's not my thing. But we could put a combination of herbs in here. You can make it into a hanging window charm for your kitchen, for your garden window, for your bedroom window. You know, a lot of times bedroom windows and stuff. You can use it kind of like a dream catcher type of thing, but more of just like a protective block. So I'm so behind on the chat. Hi, Brandy Johnson. So nice to see you. Star anise. I just got an herbal. So yes, Keeping It So Real was the first one to ask. We're going to light this candle for Joyce. We're going to talk star anise. And I'm going to try and get back to comments as best that I can. So let's light this candle for Joyce in a safe place. These coconuts are very protective. I'm going to try and light the candle for Joyce. She had said in the chat that there is she feels some energies from some other witches, I think she said, coming against her and her family. We can't have that. So we help our friends. And I polished that stone in the episode before with coconut oil. And look, it's still so rich and luxurious on the back. It looks like almost just like beautiful lava now. And that's the dull side of the stone. Here's the shiny side we polished with coconut oil. And everybody thought that that was a great idea, and it's, you know what, I don't know, 5 hours later, 6 hours later. So everybody think about Joyce and her family and keeping them protected from this powerful energy that's come their way, okay? That burned really funnily when I lit it, and it had this weird smell. So Joyce, I think that you're right. I'm sad to say, I think you do have an energy with you. So I'm going to do a special working for you and your family, just me one-on-one tonight, Joyce. Yeah, alright, cool. I'm going to get 2 more stones, and then we're going to talk star anise, and yeah. Very special candle for you, Joyce, and your family. Thank you for all your love and support. Alright, so we're going to talk about star anise. Let me get through the chat super quick. Hi, everybody who is here. Heather, hi, good to see you. And Ashley Boo, nice to see you. Living Out Loud, hi, so good to see you. Michelle, nice to see you. Okay, alright, so we're going to talk some star anise. Do you guys know what that looks like, or do you want me to go grab some? Because I can run and grab some. Hi, Justin Townsend, how are you? Look at my herbs that I've been foraging from both the kitchen and outside that I'm going to be blessing tonight in the full moon. And as well as all my flowers, my flower collection. And also, Justin, we're lighting a candle for Joyce. And we need to send some energy to her and her family to protect them from some dangerous, powerful energies that are coming their way from some magic folk. I'm not being silly, I'm being honest, that's no bueno. So let's talk star anise, and if you guys want, I can go get star anise and show it to you. But basically it's one that a lot of us have in our kitchen, hopefully not as a powder, but the energies are still there as a powder. It's just, for me, I love to use the whole ones because they make a beautiful star. Okay, if anybody needs to see the star anise, put star anise in big bold letters, okay? So let me just look it up. And first I'm looking out of Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. Full moon, happy full moon, everybody. In the video before this, we talked about full moon herbs. That was fun. Okay, I found it. So, this is kind of what he's showing a picture of the plant looking like. Okay, like some small berries here, the leaves, and then the star down to the side. So I've never seen how this plant actually grows. I'd be fascinated to get a plant of it. Thank you, Justin. So Justin's lighting a candle too. Joyce, thank you for telling us that. And if any of you guys are having trouble, when we all put our energies together, that's what I love about our community. We have people all over the world lighting candles for each other, and just it's a beautiful thing. Do we have any fixed signs in here? What do you mean, Ashley Boo? Okay, so star anise. Folk name is Badania. By Diana. Folk name, Chinese anise. And the gender, does anybody want to guess the gender of star anise? The brown little stars that we see in whole form, if not in powder, around Thanksgiving time. Flavors, sweet potato pies, I do believe. Loads of your tea is flavored with star anise. We could guess the planet as well. No, Ashley Boo, I just don't know what that statement means. I'm not, I don't understand a lot of, like, hip lingo. Maybe I'm just missing it. Sorry. So the gender is masculine. And that makes sense. It's a, oh, Michelle, guess female. Thank you for guessing. I appreciate it. It helps us learn. It's a lot of fun to be interactive with the guessing. So we're also guessing the planet and the element, if anybody wants to guess that. Masculine makes sense to me because when we used it in aromatherapy school, when I did more school than regular massage school, and we used it there, it was always a very low volatility, which means that the smell was really deep, like a sandalwoody type of smell, like how that's like really deep and rich and musky. It's kind of like gives that to an element when you're making colognes with aromatherapy. Oh, one day, you guys, when we do retreats, I'm going to teach you guys out of that aromatherapy book that I have, the way I was taught, and it's so awesome. If you buy a kit on eBay that's like $120, it comes with so many oils, you'll just overwhelm yourself. It ends up to be about $6 a bottle instead of what did we pay, 12. And they're all organic and local and all that, so cool. But anyway, learning how to mix those as perfumes that like stay, because you know about lower volatility and higher volatility, and what will, 2 drops of peppermint will kill the smell of 80 drops of citrus that you put in. So you have to know how to mix them. And star anise was one that was you only needed a drop or 2 and it would kill it. So it's one of those really deep kind of musky smells to me. Alright, so that's why it makes sense to me that it's masculine, because usually in colognes they have those lower volatility herbs and oils. The planet is, in fact, what did Heather guess the planet was? That was fun. Heather guessed that the planet was, she said male Jupiter air. And she was right about male Jupiter air. That is exactly what it is. The planet is Jupiter and the element is air. Now, it has 2 powers. It has much, much more because of the shape of it and what it can mean to you when you look at it, or what it can mean to you when you hold it in your hand or smell it may be completely different. Go with your intuition. That's intuitive magic. You don't need these books, but if you do want to use books, this is like where it's at. Scott Cunningham to me is the guy. So 2 powers. Heather, do you know the powers as well? Yeah, Michelle, it's great. So great. No, don't forget to hit thanks, everybody. Thank you. Hit the like if you like it. Heather, woohoo, you're getting better. And see, now Heather is totally going to be trusting her intuition because she's guessing. And she gets it wrong sometimes too, but she's a gardener, so she does have this, like, bond with her herbs and with her plants that maybe some of us who aren't gardeners don't. You know what I mean? I think we can all feel that. So, powers, there's two of them, psychic powers and luck. And you can also use that starry symbol as representing the star of creation, or representing a pentagram, right? Whatever it means to you when you look at it. If a star has just been a happiness since you were a little kid, you can add it into some happiness oil because that star, the look of it makes you happy. Alright, moving on. So psychic powers and luck. So this is great for astral oils, meditation oils, because you're really addressing that part of, like, opening up the third eye, psychic powers, okay? This will help you heighten your clairs. So if you're making a clair oil just to heighten all of those abilities, you would definitely want to have that. And anything with luck, whether it be gambling, which there's a whole section in the back here for gambling magic of all those herbs. Alright, so now it goes on to say its magical uses. What is a fixed, you guys? I don't know what it is. I want someone to explain it to me. Scorpio, Taurus, I'll move on, but somebody explain it to me because I need to know. I'm missing the awesome conversation. Oh, zodiac signs? Okay. Yeah, I do not know too much about my zodiac signs, but I do follow the moon. Alright, magical uses. The seeds are burned as incense to increase psychic powers. I feel like I have to go get them now. When you open up the pod, I believe that's where the seeds are. And Heather, do you know? Is that right? Is it inside of the pod when you open it? So yes, there's seeds. Probably the seeds might be similar to the seeds we find in the witch's burrs, which will be, again, blessing tonight, and part of that Etsy package of 4 people will be broken up and getting. So they're little teeny tiny, almost like, they look like mini, inside of here, they look like mini poppy seeds or something. I don't know. That's what it reminds me of. So more on star anise. The seeds are burned as incense to increase psychic powers and are also worn as beads for the same purpose. They must be bigger then. Sometimes star anise is placed on the altar to give it power. And I'm guessing that's because of the shape, but I'm not sure. One is placed to each of the 4 directions. And Scott Cunningham is a Wiccan. So, you know, if you're not a Wiccan, maybe that doesn't matter to you so much. But it is part of what he's talking about here. So, sometimes star anise is placed on the altar to give it power. And to give it power, one is placed on each of the 4 directions. It is also carried as a general luck bringer. So great for a mojo bag. Great for a mojo bag. And if you're going to do that, try and get one that does have all of the edges on it. You know, because it's going to have that luck shape. It is also carried as a general luck bringer, and the seeds make excellent pendulums. So putting it on perhaps a very, very, very thin silver chain. And then just using it as our pendulum. Well, that was super interesting. Thank you for asking, keeping it so real. That was a great question. So let's take another question. Does anybody have an herb that they want to talk about? And I can answer your question. Or an herb or a fruit or a food. Remember, all fruits, vegetables, herbs, they're all going to probably end up in one of these books, if not sometimes both. Barberry. Great one, Wild Witch. Let's look that up. Barberry. I'm pretty sure I've seen it in here before. B-A-R berry. That's a bummer. It's not in here. Alright, let's try someone else. You're welcome. I'm so glad that you asked, Salinas. That's perfect. That's so nice that you take notes for my videos. Nello does too. I'm like, yeah, you guys get out your book of shadows because we're reading, you know. And yeah, I mean, if you guys are trying to finish one of your pages in your book of shadows, we can do that too. You're picking all the ones that aren't in the book, Mario. I know. And it's probably because I do believe Cunningham's American. He has an American accent, so yeah. Aren't those beautiful? Oh, look! I was talking about this a while ago, and I mean, it's kind of silly, but Arsenola, I'll look that up in just a second, Nello. I'll check. Let me tell you guys this. I cut open this pomelo, which is going to be part of the package as well, and I'm going to bless it tonight. And I was like, you could totally scry in this dried fruit. To me, that looks like a tree of life. Like, it's so beautiful. It just looks like a big trunk and the branches and a sunset. Or look harder, the lighter part looks like the tree, and then this dark part looks like the sunset behind it. I don't know, it just looked fiery and beautiful. And then like on the other side, it's a totally different picture. It's a seashell shape. And I was just thinking, like, you could do this interesting version. Like, honestly, you can scry in anything. Like, as you're cutting the fruit, you can ask your spirit guides to show you something. And, like, I don't know, I'm always supporting the fact that you can really scry anywhere, anyhow. Use the clouds, use the trees, whatever you want. Talk to the bees. Look, that looks like a crustacean, like a crab or an ant or a bug, like, or spider. Do you guys see that? How different I mean, am I a total dork? I kind of feel like I get so excited with my herbs and I'm kind of totally a dork, but like, you know, you guys stick around, so you must be coming back for a reason. You see an angel wing, Espen said. That's so pretty. Let's see again what he's... On this one? I don't know. They're just so pretty. And this one kind of looked like a seashell to me. But then it, like, there's this, like, hole in it. Maybe you could look for fae through these. Who knows? Maybe you can make hags, you know, holy stone fruit peeping. And peeping. And then this one kind of had some interesting textures to it as well. Like, this one kind of looks like a cactus to me. I see, like, a different color here, and then just kind of like arms of a cactus. I don't know. So Nella says perceptive divination magic from them would be cool. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Perceptive divination scrying. Just so cool. This like part kind of looks like a face. I don't know. I'm a total dork. Oh no, it looks like an ear. They're like huge Pee Wee Herman ears. That's so funny. Like, ah. Heather says, no, it's awesome. You use imagination and everything. Oh, thank you guys. That's great. Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep you in mind tonight, Joyce. So, alright. So many cool things. What were we going to look up? I got to go back. Let me go back to the... It was for... Hey, Sherrybug D, I didn't get to say hi yet. Okay, Nello asked for acerola. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I can know how to look it up. A-C-E... Darn it, no. The first one in the book is this. And then it goes to AD. So, no, sadly, I'm sorry, that one's not in there. Anybody else have one that they want to... Okay, is it Barbadian cherry, so maybe just cherry? Do you want me to look up cherry, Nello? I definitely can do that. And then... The citrus looks like a hand. See, everybody sees something different. So all you have to do is ask your spirit guides to help you in seeing what you're going to see out of it. You know, of course it's going to dry in the shape that it was formed, and you didn't pray for that before it was formed. No. But what you see, your spirit guides will help you perceive it in a way that you saw something different than I saw, than whoever saw, and that's so cool. So I can't find a suggestion yet that I can look up. But let's... Oh, Barbados cherry. Let me look up Barbados cherry. I'll look up Barbados and then I'll look up cherry and see if we've got either. I shall not give up until we find it. Darn it! Barley to basil. So no Barbados, but let's look under cherry and then we'll check the red book. Cherry, no wait, China berry. Dang, you guys, you're stumping me. No, I found cherry though. Just regular cherry. So the folk names are sweet cherry or a mazard cherry. Do you guys know the gender? Do you guys want to guess the gender of cherry? Let's guess the gender of cherry and also the element and... No. We want to guess the gender, the planet, and the element. So let's give a guess on that. In the Caribbean. Hey, I love my Danes. How are you? So cherry, what's the element? Planet, element, gender. Let you guys have a look and take a couple of guesses. Female, Mars, water, Heather guessed. It's female, Venus, water. So close, Heather. Most fruits, the water's element. That's what I've seen over and over and over. Of course, water ends up in more things than just fruits, but most fruits, it's a good guess to say water. Yeah. And then, planet being Venus. What color is the planet Venus? I would have guessed Saturn probably because it's red, but there's other red planets besides Saturn, right? Mario got it. Feminine Venus, water or air. Perfect, Mario. That's so amazing. See, you guys? And this is how we build up our intuition, and then we just start trusting ourselves no matter what. Once we just like look at something. If we only have a cherry seed, that's all that's left over. Why can't you use that? And then your DNA is attached to it. You don't have to go get dried cherries. You use these things that we forage. That's what's so hoodoo about it, right, as well. Using what we have around us. I haven't spent money on a witchcraft ingredient in so long. I've been foraging. I've been taking out kitchen scraps like that are just like, and not that are from the garbage. I'm cutting them off for my dehydrator, which I have right down here running all the time. And we have beautiful racks of fruit all the time that Alex is either growing or we get from the shop. So, like, you don't have to spend money because there's so many things out there that are out, like, I've been wanting rue for a really long time, and I've been out of this and that or pennyroyal for so long, and I love that. But it doesn't matter because I have loads of other stuff here, as you can see. So much I, like, can't even jar it all up. And that's what's really great about it, I think. Just such a beautiful thing. Espen, it was so nice to see you drop by. Thank you so much for hanging out. Alright, so let's keep going. So do powers, love and divination. Okay, so love and divination. Cherry makes sense for love with me, and I think it's probably just because of the stereotypical, like, whatever, like 17-year-old boy would like say the cherry is about a woman. I'm just saying, like, it makes sense that love is one of its powers because, yeah, I see it. Sorry, you guys. The divination, I know that only because I've read it before in here, and so I probably wouldn't have guessed that, but I would have guessed love. Probably would have guessed love and maybe luck or money. I would have guessed money because they're expensive. And I live somewhere where they grow, and they're still expensive. You could eat a tub of cherries, alright, but a tub of the other ones, the Barbados cherry, I don't know how to pronounce it, acerola would be too acidic for your tummy. Yeah, totally, I bet. So I'm getting an idea of kind of what those might be, and I think I may have tasted them before on some sorts of plants that Alex grows. I don't think it's that exact type of cherry, but it's something like that because they're sour. I think they're really good to pickle as well. Okay, so magical uses. The cherry has long been used to stimulate or attract love. A beautiful Japanese spell to find love is simple. Tie a single strand of your hair to a blossoming cherry tree. The tree that I meditate with outside, I do believe, is some form of a cherry tree. So that's cool. I could actually do that working this evening. And you know, like, I'm married, so obviously what do I need to stimulate love? Well, why not? Because everybody needs to, like, keep these, like, romances in their relationship, and magic is a great way to do that. Like, honestly, it's a great way to do that. Alright, more complex is the following love spell. This is the type of complicated spell which can be simplified if desired. Collect as many cherry stones as years you are old. So if I'm 37, or almost going to be 37, I can eat 37 cherries, like just pick out 37 and then eat them. And then collect as many cherry stones as you are old. So now I have the cherry stones, or the pits. Drill a hole through no more than one stone each night, beginning on the night of the new moon. So that would be 2 weeks from tonight. If for some reason you were able to find cherries this time of year. I don't know. Are you? Or you could do this in the summer, or as soon as you find cherries. Right? Here we go. So, drill a hole through no more than one stone each night, beginning on the night of the new moon. Do not drill any holes during the waning moon. So, if you're older, you're going to have to pause on this for a while. You're only going to be able to do it during certain times. It gets kind of complicated, but just get a moon calendar. This means that the most you can drill in 1 month is only 14 stones. So this would for me take 3 months. When you have finished, and for older people, you know, that are in their 60s, it could take like 6 months, right? So this is a very intensive working. I see this working, but I see this actually being super successful because of how much energy it takes to put into it. And if you're waiting for cherry season, it could take over a year to finish this working. That's intent. That's dedication, because you'll think about it every single day, whether you're allowed to work on it or not. You know, it'll be on your witchcraft calendar. If everybody should keep a witchcraft calendar, that way you know you're doing your protection workings on time. You're doing you're planning up for your full moon workings, and you know what day it falls on, and stuff like that. I think all of that's really, really important. Make a witchcraft calendar. I can help you, show you how to make one if you guys want advice on it. Alright, so back to this cherry thing. When you have finished drilling, wait until the next new moon. Thread them on a piece of red or pink thread and tie this around the left knee each night for 14 nights. Sleep with it. This is complicated, but sounds amazing. Sleep with it and remove each morning. This will bring you a husband or wife. Well, I would hope so after all of that work and intent and time and oh my goodness, and planning and not forgetting. To find out how many years you will live, this is a separate thing. Okay, that one's done. To find out how many years you will live, run around a tree full of ripe cherries, then shake it. The number of cherries that falls represent the number of years left. Oh wow. I'd be shaking for a while. I'd be like, come on, bacon, shaking. Be sure to shake that tree hard. Cherry juice is also used as a blood substitute where it's called for in old recipes. So if you were completely vegan, even in your workings and that, you can always use things like beet juice and cherry juice in your workings. I'm seeing some taxidermy witch things, so I need to get back on comments. But that was fun reading about cherry. There's more on cherry in this book, and I'll read it to you as well. But let me try and get back to comments really quickly. You guys were just talking about cherries for a while, right? And then, yep, we did the guessing. I love the guessing. Now remember, when we talk about it out of this book, actually, it's going to be completely different, because when we talk about it in this book, it's when we're using it for workings. Like we made a necklace or a knee necklace, and we made whatever. We used it in workings. We didn't ingest it. This book is the magic of eating it and ingesting it. Okay, so it's going to be different. And I'm sorry that I spaced on that. So we'll read that second. And what was I going to say? I'll get back to comments here. Sorry. Freshwater fairies. I didn't say hi. Sorry. Hi. How are you? Alex's channel is Jukshy Farms. JUKSHYFARMS. And he does goat videos and stuff with our goats. It's really cute. I like his stuff. I haven't watched it for a while, but I'm in a lot of videos with him. Nello, Jen at Taxidermy Witch. Alex has a bonsai that looks just like an Arceola, small pink. Oh, let me go get it. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I think you're right. You did say it's some kind of cherry, I think. Are you talking about this? I've been watering this with the Rose of Jericho water from, this last new moon that I'm drying her up tonight. And I'll show you how I'm drying her up if you guys want. But here's the little teeny tiny pink flowers that Joyce is talking about, and it did not start flowering until I started Rose Jericho watering. Here's the flower. Can you see it up in there? Right there. Yeah. So anyway, he takes such good care of this, but yeah, I started putting that water on it, and he's like, it flowered, and I'm like, what? Thank you, Gertrude. I knew you were amazing. Yeah, good stuff. So perhaps I've just shown you a cherry. I wouldn't doubt it whatsoever. But remember, she's blooming, that plant, she's blooming late because most cherries have already been in bloom and are done, isn't that right? Because when we were headed to Texas was around the time that here in the West Coast that cherries were, spreading and blooming. Left knee, that's odd, right, Heather? Yeah, shake the tree and no cherries fall. You're like, oh my gosh, bucket list! Hey, Silver Willow, nice to see you. Welcome back. Okay, so let's talk about cherry out of here. And Silver Willow, you just joined. We have a candle lit for Joyce Jordan, and she's got some energies that are coming her way that we really need to focus on returning back to that sender, or however you want to work it. But please, if you can, take some time and send some beautiful energy her way. Alright, so I'm in Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, and now we're talking about the second part of cherry, which was a request from someone for me to read. We've already talked about it in the Green Book, okay? And if you missed that, go back, because some of those workings were interesting. So now let me find cherry. Okay, so the planet is the same, Venus. And this shows up on page 107. The planet's Venus, the same. Element, water, the same. Energies, only love. So when we eat it, the only energy is love. Magical uses. The sight of cherry blossoms portends further delights once the round, red fruits have matured. Make a killer cherry pie using as much love visualization as you possibly can. And don't think that you can't do that any time of year with those canned cherries that a lot of people use for cherry pies. My parents never had money to make a fresh cherry pie. I don't know if one time, no, that's not true. I've added fresh cherries to a rhubarb pie, and that turned out pretty good. I put that in instead of strawberry rhubarb, I did cherry rhubarb. Pretty good. Bye Mario, so good to see you. But yeah, you could just use those canned jam strawberries if that's all you had and you wanted to do a wintertime love working, Do what you can and what it means to you, and what do you like to taste. It's all going to matter. If it doesn't taste good, it's probably not going to make the best love working if you have somebody you love eating it. I don't know. Magical uses. The sight of cherry blossoms portends further delights once the round fruits have matured. Make a killer cherry pie using as much love visualization as you possibly can. Lightly trace a heart on the bottom crust before baking. And I love that because then you're using symbols and you're using the symbol in the food. It's hidden, but it's there. It's not like you're hiding things from your loved ones. You know, you're adding love to the food. You're not cursing anybody. You're not. What's wrong with that? You know. Oh, you let me eat your magic. Yeah, didn't you feel good? Like you were so happy afterwards. I thought it was good. Do I have to tell you that I prayed to Jesus before I made your food if that was what I did? Like, no, you don't expect people to do that. Like, I put love into the food. And some people walk around in the kitchen and say, oh, thank you, Jesus, for these beautiful onions or whatever. That's awesome. That's awesome. You can say, I'm oftentimes saying, thank you, Santa Muerte, for these gorgeous apples, because I asked my mom to come bring me some apples or something. I'm like so thankful, or that the store that day had the most beautiful apples. I'm oftentimes saying that, so I don't think it's ridiculous to, for some, you know, nobody should get mad that you put love into the food, you know, or you put some luck into the food and all that. But that's my personal opinion. Some people think you should never do magic on somebody or for somebody without them knowing. And so it's really, what do you feel in your heart? You know, what do you feel in your heart? Alright, so magical uses. Right, make a killer cherry pie using as much love visualization as you possibly can. Lightly trace the heart on the bottom crust before baking. And then if you had like a pre-made crust, you could just, maybe you could take a little stick of butter and draw a heart in it. Or you could take your finger with some cinnamon and butter and draw a little heart in it and put a little cinnamon on the heart. You know, get creative without like ruining the pie, because it is baking and it is like a chemistry or whatever. There's like maths to it. So lightly trace that heart on the bottom crust before baking. Eat one piece of the pie each day until it's gone. So eat big pieces, because you don't want a pie to sit on the counter for like a week. Big pieces, ladies and gentlemen, big pieces. Eat one piece of the pie until it is gone each day, while creating a mental image of yourself involved in a loving relationship. Okay, and again, so you're eating this by yourself, so just cut the pie into fours. Maybe keep it in the fridge, just be safe. Hey look, 11 people, 11 likes. Thanks everybody for the thumbs up. And I just love 1111. It shows up all the time. My spirit guides are here with me and here with you all. Let's see, what does somebody else want to talk about? Let's take one more herb, and then I have to get to my full moon workings. I gotta get my moon water set up for the night. I gotta get these herbs ready to bless in the moonlight, and I'm really, really, really excited to do that. And I'm excited to find out which 4 people end up buying my herbs from my Etsy page. It'd be so great on this beautiful flower moon. Cinnamon heart, nice, yeah. And you could put some little hyssop. Love it, Heather. You're talking about hyssop. I know what you're talking about. I see the T there. Hyssop. Yep, I knew ya. I knew ya. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, Y, S, S. H, Y, S, S. Where'd you go? O, P, H, Y, S, S, O, P. H, Y. Yep. Okay, so here we go. Hyssop. Beautiful. Folk names: hyssop herb, isopo, yisopo, yisipo. Who wants to guess the gender, the planet, and the element? Gender, planet, element. What is our guess? I'm going to give y'all a minute to guess gender, planet, element of hyssop. Hey, Kylie H. Nice. Thanks for joining us and saying hello. Welcome. All right, have we got some guesses? So I love my Danes. Thank you for your guess. She says water, Venus, masculine. I'm going to let some more people guess. I'll tell you, you have at least one of them correct. That's a lot of herbs, right? This is what I've been foraging for the last 2 months. And I'm breaking it up, and I'm keeping what I want for myself, and I'm putting the rest on my Etsy shop. So whoever orders one of the 4 available orders, there's even more that you can't see down here. But yeah, and then the only other separate thing, it'll all be divided. There's just 2 things that I can't divide, and that's this whole entire pineapple that I've dried. So awesome. There's like no cuts, it's the whole thing. And then this special banana flower wand that I'm going to bless in this flower full moon tonight. And so I'll put that up on my Etsy shop too. It's cool. It's so, so cool. Yeah. So I'm excited. And then, oh, right, I'm going to work on a twin flame working. And it's actually a cool twin flame working. It's an ancestral twin flame working, and it's with Persephone, which I'm just so thrilled about. I've always liked trying to do Persephone workings. Usually I've only done them on a new moon, but I'm excited about the full moon. So let's take some more guesses here. Silverilla says male, Earth, and Saturn. All right, guys, let's say it. The gender is masculine, so everybody got the gender. That's great. Planet was Jupiter. And the element is fire. Jupiter and fire, you'd think they go together all the time, but sometimes it's not always them together. It makes sense for them to be together, though. Isn't Jupiter a very fiery planet, and that's why it's red? Joyce, Mary just left, so they got home before the storms pop up, but she said she's going to check out your channel and stuff on here, and Etsy. Great! I think the chicken foot things are cool. Oh, well, I always throw in free chicken's feet with every order. I just want to know whether the person wants it to be painted or plain, you know? And these bottle ones are great, too. I definitely have these. I can do any kind of chicken's foot you want. All right, so the powers. Let's just give people a chance to guess the powers. Oh, look, 1313. I like that, too. You were going to say Jupiter, Silverilla. You should have gone with your intuition. This is all about learning. If we get it wrong, it's totally fine. We're just learning and having fun and learning to trust. All right, so the powers. Do y'all know the powers of Hyssop? I think it's pronounced Hyssop. Is it? What are the powers of Hyssop? I can only wink one eye. I can wink this one if I do this. Why is that? Oh wait, I figured out how to do it. You just have to look that way. Weird, I know. Alright, what are the powers of Hyssop? We gotta guess. Oh, my Etsy name is Jukshylady Lady. Jukshylady. I don't have the listings up yet, but they'll go up tomorrow. Jukshylady. Jukshylady. Cleansing. I love my Danes. Thank you for your guess. Cleansing. Well, right, because purification is what Scott Cunningham, the word he uses instead of cleansing. So purification, yes, that is one of them. 2 powers. The other one is protection, you know, and I feel like those 2 are similar. Magical uses. Hyssop is the most widely used purification herb in magic. I didn't know that. I'm noting it though. Where's my pencil? Where's my pencil? Here we go. You guys should probably all write that in your book of shadows. Hyssop is the most widely used purification herb in magic. Wow. Did anybody know that? I want you to say if you did know that, because I totally want to get to know you guys. That's so cool if you did. So amazing. Hyssop, cleansing and purifying? Yeah. No. Purification and protection. And I'm saying that purification means cleansing. In Scotty's book, that's how he refers to cleansing is the word purification. If you go back in the magical intentions, there's no cleansing herbs. There's purification herbs, but there's not cleansing herbs. So that's how I refer to it. And that's what I get from it. And protection is the other powers under hyssop. So I had no idea, though, that hyssop is the most widely used purification herb in magic. I need to get some. I need to get some. You knew it was cleansing. I Love My Dane says, I knew it was cleansing, I thought purification. Yeah, that's great. I know, Heather, isn't that so cool? So yeah, and then it says, it is added to baths in sachets, infused and sprinkled on objects or persons to cleanse them. So you could sprinkle it over somebody. You know how, like, we take our chicken's feet and we cleanse ourselves with the chicken's feet like this. We don't actually touch our hair or our skin, but we just cleanse the energy away with it. You could take, like, a branch off the hyssop, or like in the last video when I was talking about fresh mugwort from my garden, how after a shower I beat myself with that, and it's very, very purifying. It's very, I don't know, it helps with everything in my opinion. My mind is just energized, I'm fresh, I'm wide awake, and I'm focused. So it helps with a lot of stuff, anxieties as well. So yeah, so maybe you could take the hyssop in that manner and, you know, slap it on the naked parts of your skin and to cleanse someone. Okay, so perhaps like after working, if somebody needs a cleansing working one-on-one, you can kind of whap that with them. Or just even sprinkle it over them, it says, and hung up in the home to purge it of evil and negativity. So a really great place to, I would guess, in addition to saying that, to hang that would be above a front doorway, a back doorway. All your doorways would be a great place to hang some hyssop in that manner. So yeah, I just wanted to come on and talk to you guys and do a little bit more of this. Like, I'd really love to do this as much as we can, you know, and just come on and do herbal Q&A and tell you what I'm up to as far as trying to get up for sale and stuff, because I know that a lot of you guys, it's easier for you to buy things than it is for you to do it yourself, whereas I always encourage to do it yourself. If you can't, I've put loads of love into it for you, you know, more than the factory did that does dried herbs probably at other places. But who knows? I'm just saying. I do a lot of things with these. I take them out in the moonlight and bless them myself, and I've kissed them. I love them. They're great. Alright, so Joyce says, that's why a lot of Catholics use hyssop in their... Oh, wait, hold on. It's also in scripture. I can't remember which one it is. It's zip code. Cleanse me with hyssop and I shall be clean. Really? We should all try and figure out what that is, because I love to note that type of stuff in my Book of Shadows. I really do. Yes, Joyce, that's how I remember hyssop. Okay, and I Love My Danes, remember seeing it. That's why a lot of Catholics use hyssop in their aspergy, is that how you pronounce it, to sprinkle water on the folks there for Mass. Yep. It shows I care. Thanks, Heather. I do. I really care. And we all really care about you, Joyce, and we've really been thinking of you. I put my big chunk of tourmaline here. My 13-pound chunk of tourmaline. And I have that beautiful stone that we polished earlier, and I've just been kind of trying to scry into it, because this black obsidian makes a great scrying stone if you put a candle in front of it. And I'm glad I polished it this morning, because someone asked me just on a whim when we were doing this herbal just Q&A stuff. They said, how do you polish your black obsidian? And I was like, well, I've never polished my black obsidian with it, but my other stones I tend to put raw, unfiltered coconut oil on and just kind of rub that on, the same stuff I rub on my body. And it polished this stone so beautifully and so well. Now it looks like, because it just looked like kind of earthy before and like geode, and now it's just this gorgeous, you can see the lines in it, and it looks more like the what it actually is, and it really cleaned up that stone. Really beautiful. So yeah, there's this part right here where it's a nice flat space to kind of scry in with a candle in front of it. And then I also have my hematite chunk, which I love a lot. This is heavy. I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 pounds. It's really pretty. I hold this a lot in meditation, and when we were reading about hematite the other day, when we did a stones and gems and metals Q&A just like this, but with different books, we learned about hematite and how you are meant to hold it during meditation for grounding. And I've been doing that for years and had no idea that you're meant to do that. This is what I'm saying. Our intuitions will guide us to do what we're supposed to do with the stones. Pick the stones we need when we go into a shop. You don't have to refer to a book for these things. If you literally listen deep, deep, deep inside of you, it's being said. It might not be being screamed out, but it's being said. So you just have to listen. And that's a good example of like how I really began to trust myself just 2 weeks ago about stones. Because I thought, yeah, I trust that in herbs, but I don't know about stones, which is ridiculous. Why would it be any different, you know, now that I think about it? So anyway, I've had a blast talking to you guys. Oh, Heather Googled it. The info is Psalms 51:7. Wait, I gotta get my book because I wanna find out something about, because I can tell you what we use that for in hoodoo, because I have this. Hold on. But then I really do have to get to work. Where is that book? Oh, yeah. I did this cool video a while back, and it was on all the Psalms and what they're used for in hoodoo, and I do believe I got that information from this book. And it says every single Psalm and what you would use it for an intention in actual hoodoo workings. But the video that I made, which reads all of them and what you use the Psalms for, yep, here it is called Psalms and Hoodoo, the Taxidermy Witch, if you look up that on YouTube. But anyway, so we said Psalm 51. Was that what we had said? Psalm 51-7. So Psalm 51 appears in this book, Hoodoo, which I've read this whole entire thing on my channel, chapter by chapter, to you guys, the whole entire book. It appears on page 18, where they go through all of the Psalms and tell you what they mean for your workings in hoodoo. And so Psalm 51 is at the bottom of page 19, and it says, we use this psalm to be free of guilt, and then you'll also dress a purple candle. So it tells you the candle color to use and why you use that psalm. So I think that's really cool. So in hoodoo, hyssop, you could attach to being free of guilt, and we wouldn't have gotten to that conclusion without these two books. And I know a lot of hoodoo practitioners that suggest this being your herbal Bible as well, for lack of a better phrase on that word. So anyway, you guys, my throat is sore. I am going to be done chatting for the day probably. But who knows? I may come on later and get some wild energy from that full moon, which I'm really excited about. And my Etsy is Jukshylady, Jukshylady. And I'm really excited to share so many of the things I've been foraging from myself, you know. And and some extra special things like that, this flower wand that I'm going to bless in this full flower moon today, this evening, and then put up on the Etsy, as well as the pineapple, which is honestly, like, I totally see this as kind of like a florally thing. Carmen Miranda had one up on her hat, and flowers go on hats. I don't know, I just think it's gorgeous. It looks like a rose up at the top, and it's just so flippin' cute, like a whole entire pineapple, and it's hard as a rock. So a couple of these things have to be on their own and not in part of the order I'll split into 4, but it's going to be great. And I'm excited to share, and, you know, just I've been working really hard on these foragings, and you guys have seen me over the last 2 or 3 months, and that's what this is. So I talk to you guys super soon, and have a beautiful full moon, and I love you. Take